All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Forex Chart Analysis. It's Wednesday, August 15th, 2018. A lot of exciting things, except for last night. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of the pairs continued in the direction. They weren't really kind of making their moves as big as we wanted them to. On the 15-minute, it kind of did. It broke the waters on the 15-minute. It's coming back to pull back now. There's just a lot of consolidation, and that's normal, especially after all the lows that they're making. The only pair that kind of just kept going was gold. Gold just kept taking. Now, that's just something that has to do with the dollar. It's not currency, it's a commodity. So, but it did keep going. This is why I didn't want you guys to buy it. It's been going down, and it's looking like it actually is going to continue down. There is nothing here telling me it's going to keep retrace yet, at least on the higher time frames. What we're going to do is I'm going to place this line there so I can see the overall market. And then we got this one coming up here. About there. So yeah, price getting really close. GU kept dropping, and it's getting ready to do something as well. The pairs are all still divergent. AU in a slight reversal. I think this thing's going to continue up tonight through that nice W here. And it stayed divergent. We'll be seeing how this thing ends up playing out. It still has to break that water, though. It's just a lot of the same things that we've kind of been saying here. Now, let's kind of go over, starting the beginning, Euro USD. Short term, it dropped last night, but it also came up to here. So what happened was, when it dropped down, made that new low, it shot up here, and it's actually doing a bullish wedge as we speak. So as it keeps wedging, you'll notice that, again, short term, it broke this high. This is the most recent high right there. If it pops up. Let's see. Come on. It just doesn't want to load right now. Oh. There's news. That's going to be interesting. It broke this high with the pins, and it's still doing a bullish wedge, and it's above the stationary 50. So it's like all the signs right now that are telling me that Euro USD is going to be shooting up again tonight. Now, I needed to break that Mayo on the 15-minute because that Mayo is the 1 hour water. So if it breaks that water, it's kind of doing what I wanted to do is exactly what it's doing right now. I want to happen at a quicker time, so it's not going to be as fluent, if you will. If you notice here, what happened after it broke the water is it started consolidating and it's forming that bullish wedge. Ideally, that's what you want to see on the hour, but on the hour, the patterns are more looked upon the actual candlesticks, and it will throw probably a small W or a railroad pattern for sauce or a hit against the water, again, to retest it. So ideally, that's what we want to see is a shot up this way to break that Mayo, consolidate, pull back, and then continue up again for the overall. Oh, it just shot up just now. It's probably why my charts were freezing. Let me actually see what AU did. If AU shot up, then we have a better idea of what to expect for EU, GU, and whatnot. Because the news just hit for AU. Look at that. Oh, man. It literally went straight up. That's what we were looking for. I was like, this is literally what we're waiting for. Now, hopefully this news continues to push it up. If it does, you guys be looking for it to consolidate on it or at least just, stay above it. Because right now what it's doing, the 15-minute, it's going up and down. That's why it's kind of doing shit. I think they just trapped the traders at the bottom, and now they're going back up to continue. So look for this thing to continue overall. If AU keeps pushing up, you know exactly what to look for in EU and GU and perhaps gold, but gold is also a commodity, so it could keep going in the general direction as the other pairs keep going. But you just got to be patient. So as we're going over this, I might as well just say AU, look for the continuation up. Look for the 15-minute blueberry to be hit. That would be ideal for a pullback. And that would be the 1 hour Mayo. So you're looking for the 1 hour Mayo to get hit. Same thing for Euro USD. Again, these are all overall downtrends. So everything that we're saying right now is technically against the trend. So these trades that if you were to take are short term, they are going to be in and out. You're not keeping them in for long. This you're going to expect the same thing. Have it shoot up, pull back, continue up. If it doesn't break it and it just consolidates in between here, there is a possibility that it could shoot down, but that won't happen until London session. So you'll notice it as it continues to go through Asian session. If it doesn't break this here, it's going to keep doing it until London session and then probably like stop on high and drop. So you'll see how you have to like wait and see what it does, but it's still divergent on the hour. Still divergent on the 15-minute too. If you look at the 15-minute here, completely oversold. Shark fin starts right at the point of where this possibly could be a inverted head and shoulders, but I believe that this is actually left shoulder. I believe that this is the left shoulder. This head is a small head and shoulders where you have the left shoulder here, head, right shoulder. For it to shoot up, then pull back to form the right shoulder, and then eventually just skyrocket up. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. So look for this thing to shoot up, and then you'll see it pull back, and then you'll see another shot up the next day for the rest of the week, and then next week we'll possibly be looking to continue to sell on them. Let's go to gold. Gold is just tanking. And that's probably because of the news last night, to be completely honest. Or this morning. That news was very powerful. The retail actually affected the dollar like crazy. Let me see this. If it zooms in, I can get a good amount of I can at least get a good analysis on this if it zooms in. But it doesn't want to zoom in. I just love this.
Power's back on.
Oh, thank goodness. Clutch this. I really am, though. We are going to grind all night. Jesus Christ.
I can't fix that.
I can fix that.
No, I said I can't. I'm watching it.
I feel you. All right. I don't know why. All right, here we go. Finally. So if you're looking at this 4 hour right now, you'll notice that there is no divergence. It's extremely oversold, which means two things. Either going to keep going down, right? Or it's about to hit a very, very powerful consolidation zone, and you're probably not going to see this thing move for the rest of the week. Not that much. I mean, it is a commodity, but these pairs, gold likes to throw a lot of W's, M's, very clean patterns. So for those of you that draw technicals or you're doing your trend lines, support, resistance lines, now would be like a perfect time to kind of see what it's going to do, because I'm telling you, it just broke all these lows, and it's going to keep doing that. Okay, why does it say, oh, hey? Come on. There we go. Go away. There we go. Trying to make this thing legit. The connection is just weird. Let's see. I need to get a new laptop. I really do, because this thing is just like unreal when it comes
throw
to
it in the fire?
No. I do not want to throw this laptop in the fire. That would be a lot of memory that I have. Nothing crazy to report.
You really won't remember the memory. I don't remember anything that I just got rid of.
Right.
It's gone.
If this is all playing out, this is going to be two things. It's either going to be so on the 4 hour, there's nothing here. It's just showing continuation, but it is hitting that support line that I just drew up right before we left to go over AU. And what I do believe could happen here is that we are going to see some consolidation, because once it hits that low, once it hits a new level, it does consolidate. It's not just going to keep dropping to infinity. It needs to exhaust the market. The market has to literally just catch up with people. It can only push it so far for so long. So they just shot it down a whole nother level. They hit a support line. They're going to need to consolidate. Now, if I can just get to this hour chart, I can probably show you guys that it's going to start forming a little bit of patterns. for that consolidation to happen. But until it happens, I can't do it. Let me see this. Come on. This is I'm trying to close out everything that I have here. I see my phone. Just feel like I'm telling you. Oh, finally! My apologies, guys.
Cover.
All right, this is good for now. It's going so slow, but it's not. It's hit the recent weekly low. It's hit that support low. It's not hit the support. So what we're going to be looking for is this to possibly kind of just do this, kind of like expect like what it did here or what it did here, just consolidate, or exactly what it did this. Now, I don't think it's going to consolidate that much, but I do expect it to consolidate, especially after how far it's been pushing down for as long as it has. Let me go to the 15-minute. Maybe there's a couple things on here that I could probably see that a little bit cleaner. There's really not that big of a divergence here. Just expect it short term if you're looking at the 15-minute, possibly to come up here, come down, shoot up, make a W, hit that water. If it doesn't break the water, it's going to continue down. If it breaks the water, it'll continue up to that 15-minute Mayo, which is the 1 hour water. So there's a couple things that you can be seeing here, but as of right now, I would not be looking at gold, especially of how far it has been pushing. Wait for it to make its move, wait for it to consolidate a little bit more so we can kind of get a clearer view of what it's going to do, because right now it's just been breaking all these lows. So it's blown out. Look at G. I was saying GU before. Come on. GU. Now we were looking for this thing to reverse as well, but it continued down in the same direction. So if we're actually looking at this, it's still divergent. It was still oversold, and it held it. I still believe that this thing is going to be going over, but in order for that to happen, you still need to see that break in that 1 hour water. Okay, so continue with that idea in your head. If it doesn't break that 1 hour water, it's not going to be considered for reversal yet, because otherwise you're guessing. It needs to break that water. It needs to come up and pull back, because once this happens, you have a pretty good idea of what to expect next. Pullback makes a new high. It's got to be a pullback, because as of right now, this is the recent high. That way, you know, it's simple. Like here's the high here. Here's the low. Here's the high. Here's the low. Technically, if I can redraw it. Here's the low. There's the low. There's a lower high. There's a lower low. So on a shorter time frame, if this comes up, breaks this high, you now have considered a new high, right? So it has to come down to form a new low, retest, and then shoot its way back up. Right? That would be a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders actually on a shorter time frame for the nice pullback up into these zones. Right? So I'm going to redraw this later tomorrow. We'll see how that all plays out. But that's what I really want to see play out for tonight. It is Wednesday, so today going to Thursday, it is still successful to a midweek reversal. So be on the lookout for all of that to happen. Because if AU's shooting up still, then we still have a pretty good idea of what to expect. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for GU. I just went over AU. I told you guys. I kind of just want to look at it real quick, see what it's doing. Oh, look at that. All right, so we're still expecting good things from AU. It's still shooting up, and it's going to keep shooting up. So expect everything else to be doing the same thing. U Chief. So it's getting better. It's getting cleaner. Starting to break these highs more and more. Like this is what we've been looking for. Once it comes out, it drops down. And we're going to be waiting for this thing to eventually either come down to retest here because it's still in consolidation. The EMAs are still really tight. So it could come down to retest this trend line. If it does and it does not break it, you can buy it. If it consolidates here and wicks and doesn't take out this low, you could possibly look for a buy to go back up to there as well. There's a lot of things. My bet would be the fact that the stationary 50, if you guys are looking at the TDI right now, it's actually looking like it's about to come out of the volatility band. The volatility bands are starting to expand, and the RSI is coming down. It's looping down. So what that's going to do, it's going to shoot into the oversold range, which means this will drop. So you are looking short term for you cheap to drop, and if it doesn't take out this trend line, you're looking for a buy. If it takes it out, and you're looking for it to not break this trend line. If it doesn't take it out, you can buy it. UJ. UJ, I wanted to continue last night, but the news affected this more than all the other ones, and it hit that right at that peak, right at that resistance line that we had drawn. So like, ideally, this whole zone got retested because there's multiple areas. Like if you actually look at this, I'll draw it up for you because this is still technically supply and demand here. It's based off of the bottom of this wick to the top of that blue candle, comes across, and it hit that zone, and it threw that double top, and it completely tanked. But it also is inside of a consolidation zone. The EMAs are tight. There is no trend right now, unless you break it to the higher time frame, which in this case, it's divergent here. It's oversold with a shark fin coming up, bounce off the water, the blueberry, and if it throws a pattern here for real, where this thing can continue up. Now, long term, I still see UJ continuing up, so be on the lookout for that. What did it do here? Hold on. I'm looking at, oh shit, I'm looking at this daily right now. So long term, I think it's going to keep going up, but as of right now on this daily, this is looking like it's going to keep going down. Actually, it's just through sauce. So this is what I'm going to show you guys. It did this. Once it zooms out, it's going to get messed up. Here is, come on. Zoom out just one click, so I can give you guys a perfect understanding as to why I'm looking at this for yourself. This is the daily. Even though the EMAs are tight, it threw that railroad right there. So this is the candle that it played last night. It threw it right there, closed it right on the catch-up, and it's beneath the stationary 50, which is right here, and it's not divergent, and the volatility bands are expanding, and it's going to come out of the volatility band and continue down. So tonight, anything you're seeing going up right now is a stop hunt. You're going to sell it tonight. You're looking for sells. So let me look at the 1 hour. So it's shooting up right now. It's hitting that 1 hour water, which is nice. I still want this thing to shoot up a little bit more. Once it shoots up a little bit more, when we look at the 15, you'll be seeing some patterns form. So it's not just going to go up and then just tank. It's not going to do that. It's going to go up, and it's going to start consolidating. Once you start seeing it consolidate for about an hour and a half, that's when you guys are start looking for this thing to tank again. All right, so you're going to look for this thing to drop. That's what you'll get on UJ, and then again, long term, I still believe this thing will shoot up. It's playing the trend right now. It's playing the moves. There was somewhat of a head and shoulders here last night, and I tanked. Took out this low, which is right here, so it's going to come up, make a new lower high, like it's doing perfectly. Because look, I'll show you. That's the low. Here's the new low coming up, forming the new lower high based off of this one. So it's going to come up, consolidate, tank to guarantee at least retest this zone, or it's going to come down and retest that recent weekly low. If it does that, we'll get a nice amount of pips caught on this, so you guys can catch some big support. GJ. GJ is pretty much the same thing. GJ and UJ have been correlating like very well lately. So the same thing, and if you're looking at this from a short-term perspective, GJ did take out that low. Now, I think it's going to come up, do the same thing, consolidate on the Mayo here, on the 15-minute, and we'll see another drop because it's not divergent on the 15-minute. Nothing's saying anything. You guys are going to be looking for this short-term to drop again down to that low. EA. Look at that. EA just, man, this news just happened. This is going nuts. It's breaking out of that channel. So if you guys have been holding this trade for the last week or so, you should still be fine. It just stopped putting it high one more time for a triple top. So you got 1, 2, 3. All these traders up here are trapped. right here, and it's coming down as we speak. So we have AU shooting up, EA shooting down. This could be the move as it starts to break and closes. You would see I don't want to say a continued push down overall, but probably consolidation, pullback, and another drop. So we'll be looking for EA to keep selling. If you guys been holding it, you can still hold it. I'm just telling you right now, like, look at this. This is the 4 hour. This is the 4 hour. Once it breaks out of here, guys, it's dropping. It's dropping. Plenty of time. GA. I believe GA also dropped last night too. We had them both dropping. Yep. So it threw a double top, ugly one. And it dropped. So if you guys played these pairs for sells last night, it's shit. It's going to continue. So GA, you're looking for the continued drop as well. Anything stop on high is a sell. You see it looking. Let's see what we can find on the 1 hour. Yeah, this thing's about to go all the way back down, guys. It's below the stationary 50. There's no divergence coming out of Alta again. You're selling GA again, too. That's EA and GA are probably the best setups as we speak. GZ, and this is still why I have not touched this pair, is because it's still in the middle. So guess what? You're not touching this pair. G Chief did the same thing, continued, shot up to that water, through a pattern, and then continued back down again. And I'm going to keep saying that over and over again until something happens. So it comes up. If it does it again, you can sell it. Now, if you want to get a little bit better precision, you can draw a line from the last couple days' trend lines here. Ready? It wants to click. From here. So if it comes up, look for it to bounce off that trend line and then take again. All right, if it does, you're good. If it breaks it completely, you're looking for a retest and then it rise again. And then you had, I don't know what I did with UK last night. I know I had the other night, had it for a drop, which it did. I see now this one just shot all the way back up. And it went up. Oh man, look what it did. It literally went right up to retest that trend line that we had drawn based on price action from June 26th. So it literally retested it. You guys are going to be looking for this thing to drop again. You're looking for sells long-term on UCAD. It's going to drop again. You want to draw a better one? Look, so you have the top line here. Draw this right here. Come on, right there. Hitting it off. If it comes up, retest again. Guys, it's going back down to that trend line here. Then if it breaks it, pull back and then sell it. But that's ultimately what you're looking for. You're looking for this thing to drop back down. So it's going to go back down to the 4-hour blueberry. So it's a long-term sell. Long-term sell. Has daily sauce too. From her Fulvio just said. I didn't even look at that. Oh, for the upside. So if it doesn't, it wicked off of it. Well, let me look at this. So if it holds this trend line, everything I just said would be right. Now, if we're going off of this, from what Fulvio just mentioned, which is good catch. If it breaks it, it's the same principles, right? So if it holds this, it's going down. If it breaks it, you're literally just looking for it to come down, retest again, and then you can rebuy it, right? So right now, you kind of want to wait and see what happens. I mean, it's above the stationary 50. It's looping up, so this thing could actually shoot up, especially since it's throwing like a nice, clean pattern on the daily for sauce. And it's in a daily, what is it? Look at this. So as that one's in a trend line, this one's in a trend line too. Right there. There, or a channel, sorry. So you got from here to here, it's in the trend line. So what it did was it bounced off of this one short term. Now I'm looking at the bigger one. It's in a trend line. So it's going to continue to drop. 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 It's it bounced off here. So technically, if we're looking at this from a long-term perspective, and this is the daily. Let me draw this a little bit farther for you guys. Come about here. There. It'll go up to retest this area right there. So either it breaks it, comes back down to retest this trend line, or it breaks this trend line, comes back, retests it, and goes up to this overall bigger trend line in the channel. So that's what we're going to be seeing. Just got to be really precise with it and patient. So, all right, guys. That concludes group chart analysis. I'll be posting it up on YouTube, put it in the group once it's done recording. So tomorrow's the last day of the week. So be careful. Watch out for the news. There's GBP news in 6.5 hours, and then there's USD news in 10.5 hours. Just be really careful in the markets and look for these certain setups to happen. You guys should catch some pips easily. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out.